Good evening, everyone. So it's actually my first time in my life that I'm sitting next to a fire with the microphone in my hand, and that's probably why I didn't hear me when I said hello at first. It's Sunday again, next to myself around the fire. Lots of things happen.
Lots, huh? Nice to be around the fire again. I think it's a very awesome day. I'm getting warm. I mean, since last Sunday I was not around the fire the whole week, and now I'm back again. I feel like very natural.
I can see you were sitting in there nicely. Both Rex and myself were sort of obviously running around a little bit before we started talking to you, but it's a good place to be around a fire, especially when there's been lots happening, Rex. It's been a good week and especially a good day.
It was a very, very beautiful week. I believe, if we keep on going like, we're in a very good business.
Yeah, it's lekker. It's always the first few minutes of this fireside chat's always a bit weird for me, to be honest, still, just because it's a new space a little bit, and standing with this thing in my hand adds to it. But it's certainly been a good week in terms of wildlife. I mean, what Rex mentions there as well is it's been picking up more and more. It's been very busy again. We went through a bit of a lull sort of 2-3 weeks ago, but then we had awesome leopard until last Sunday, while Karula was actually in camp while it was happening, and then during this week as well. Beautiful leopard, Saseka. Rexon's going to talk a bit more about that just now. Elephant tonight. And it does feel like we're now at that part of winter, Rexon, where it starts getting busier. You know, that last part before summer, and it's really every day there's something happening.
It was very good. And especially, that fascinating is for the tracks of a leopard that comes from Peter's Pond. Very close to the camp here. Is really, it makes me more happy. Such leopards living into our environment around in and out, which is very amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting. Also, that was during the day. We didn't mention much of it, but that was yesterday, which is part of the reason last night we were waiting for her. But just to explain quickly, and it's interesting to see how this will develop, but this little pond that Rexon's talking about is just at the back of camp here. Essentially, we sorted out all our grey water as such of camp, and instead of having trouble with it like we did for a long time, we just redirected it, filtered and so on. It now runs out as clean water eventually, and it's just a little pond. Very, very nice for bird life, small life, but what's happening more and more, like Rexon says, is the leopards are around. So that's an interesting little sort of watch the space down the line.
It was very, very good. There was few questions that come through. People would like to really clarify about the leopard that they saw earlier on, the grey decker kill. The whether it's Karula or Saseka. Definitely it was Saseka, but what makes people to be confused, on the radio communication there was a guy that mentioned that Karula joins Saseka on there, and we also mentioned that it would be very, very good if Karula joins Saseka. It would be something else that we'll be adding on that. But really, of course, that was Saseka, one of the youngsters that she killed. She knocked a grey decker, and very interesting. Definitely for sure, Karula have really lost the contact of those cubs. The cubs now independent, because we have been seen around there with the mother back on the kill itself. That tells us the last day that we saw them around 3 houses, that it was a goodbye day. When the mother said, "You now can become more independent. You're no longer going to follow me," because we heard that also the leopard was mating around in and out from the camp for the last 2 weeks. So it's very awesome. It's a very beautiful thing to see.
No, for sure, Rex.
Yeah.
And we touched on it last week as well. But there's certain events almost that when you look back on things over time, like when the Mapochos arrived the first time, they're characters that are well cemented in all of our lives now, even though we don't see them that often. But there's certain things that happen over time that you think back to, and sometimes on the occasion and sometimes later on it means quite a lot. And I certainly think that last week when Karula was around camp and we heard her every night, 4 nights in a row we had her in camp. Unfortunately we couldn't actually show her to you. She managed to outwit us a few times, but you saw some of the stills on the website. And that time when she was mating, you could hear it. It was very special that was happening around us. If we see those cubs, imagine 4 months from now we see those cubs, and it's like we can actually remember the time it happened. So, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to see. It's very amazing. Also, we have another question that people, also last week we really ran down about the question. People that want to know if a leopard have a cubs and a new male or enter into the area, they're going to kill the cubs as same the lion do the same. And also that is amazing question. Of course, leopard is same as lion. They can do the same because they're all territorial species. That means that the same gender of the same species must spread out their own gene once they interfere one another. So if the leopard come across with the cubs, especially people who have mated with another male around the area, if a new male comes into the area, he really won't like those cubs. Definitely is going to kill the cubs. So force the female to be on oysters, then it can spread out the gene because there's no inbreeding, there's no challenge from the dominant male that will be around you with the new cubs that one might be into. That is a fairy of the leopard, what they do. It's very, very amazing.
Actually, something I'm wondering about myself, and I've got my own thoughts and theories on it, but especially you having, with you having known this area for quite a long time. Rexon, sorry. With what you've been living in this area for so long, with everything that happens here and so on, and having a special feel for these leopard. I mean, we talked about it last time, but there's literally not just one or two leopard that we know here. It's Safari and Matimba, her son, and Karula and her daughter and offspring. So it's literally the history of them. And Rexon, sorry, and Rexon knows this area's history intimately. I mean, from many different points of view, whether it's from the human history that have lived around here for many generations, with his family, or the animals. What I'm getting to, Rex, sorry, it's a long question, but
yeah.
What do you think, Saseka? I mean, Tingana, I think she's quite a special leopard anyway. She's quite shy. We don't see her that much. But Saseka, do you think she's going to stick around this area for a little while, or what do you predict? Let's see what you think is going to happen.
With my prediction, I believe, Saseka, as you can see, she's more relaxed leopard. She's going to share, territory with her mother into the area. Remember, Peter, we have seen Lord Saseka with the mother. Tingana, she was away for a long time. That tells us something. The relationship between the mother and the youngster itself is very, very high. She might still be around in the area, in and out. Especially, Tree House area is where we have seen her a lot, going in and out in that area, also into our neighborhood, Little Gary. Leopard, how they works sometimes is very amazing, especially in Firside here, Juma. We know all of us, if you want to see leopard, you have to come here in Firside, get to Juma, next drive, first drive, you get to see leopard. So they tend to live, certain behavior that we people sometimes we didn't really get to used to it. We have seen it many leopards around here. I will take example one of the leopard that called a beacon female. Once before I have seen beacon female, also told you the story.
Yeah.
With the first offspring and the second offspring all joining together. Playing.
Okay, the young and playing even.
Yeah, playing even.
Sure.
No problem. The mother while is around in that area. So leopard can do something that we not normally to witness around the area. So with Saseka, I believe she will be staying around in the area, in and out, while the mother, she's becoming a dominant female around in the area. Same applies with, Kurula and her mother, Safari.
Yeah.
When they go down to the west, look at Aratuza, Saseka, Kurula and Safari female, they were sharing almost in one territory.
Yeah.
But there was no fight at all, which it can happen here too. Most of the time, our books and so on, and the information that pass on, we know that leopard, they don't share territory at all. More territory, but that can happen.